Your partner is about to reveal a secret they've hidden for too long. Open this now. My child. The air around you tonight feels different, as if the world itself is holding its breath, as if every second is slowly unfolding toward a moment that has been waiting in silence for far too long, and as you listen to this message, you may feel a quiet pull in your heart, a sense that something deeply personal, something meant only for you, is about to rise to the surface. Your partner has been carrying a secret, a truth that has lived in hidden places of their mind, wrapped in hesitation and unspoken emotion, and now the universe has chosen this moment to guide it gently toward you. They have replayed this confession again and again in their thoughts, wondering how you will react, wondering whether your heart will soften, whether your soul will understand the weight behind every word they have struggled to say. This message does not arrive by chance, it arrives because your story is standing at a turning point, because there is a bridge between what has been silent and what is ready to be revealed, and as each breath moves through you, you may feel that quiet anticipation building, like the soft echo of footsteps walking toward the truth. Your partner has realized that certain emotions cannot remain hidden forever, that certain fears cannot stay buried beneath smiles and everyday conversations, and that love, real love, must eventually stand in the light with courage instead of hiding in shadows of uncertainty. They have watched you from a distance even while standing beside you, noticing how your presence steadies their world, how your kindness reaches places within them that no one else has ever touched, and yet, there has been something they never fully expressed, not because they didn't trust you, but because the depth of it was overwhelming, too powerful to be spoken casually, too fragile to risk misunderstanding. This secret is made of moments, of memories, of thoughts they held inside late at night when everything became quiet, when the truth whispered louder than their fears. They have been afraid of losing you, afraid that revealing this part of themselves might change the way you see them, might shift the way your heart feels, and so they chose silence, believing it would protect what you both share. But silence has grown heavier with time, pressing on their chest, reminding them that love cannot truly breathe when truth is locked away. The more they tried to bury it, the more it rose within them like a tide, until the only path forward was to speak, to step into honesty even if their voice trembles. And now, as this message reaches you, their emotions stretch across every word, every pause, every heartbeat, forming an invisible thread between your world and theirs. Tonight, your partner's heart stands at the edge of revelation, because what they are about to confess is not betrayal, not harm, not regret, it is something deeper, something that reveals how profoundly you live inside their thoughts. They want you to know that they have loved you in ways they never fully described, in ways they themselves struggled to understand, and that the intensity of that love frightened them. They did not expect you to become so important, did not expect that your presence would shape their days, influence their decisions, and soften the hardest parts of their soul. They found themselves thinking about your voice when they were alone, remembering your words in moments of uncertainty, holding on to your memory when the world around them felt cold and distant. And yet, instead of celebrating this feeling, they hid it, convincing themselves that you deserved someone stronger, someone more confident, someone who would never hesitate the way they did. Every time they wanted to open their heart, fear wrapped around their courage, whispering that vulnerability might cost them everything, that if they confessed how deeply they cared, they might lose the safety of what you already shared. But the truth refuses to remain silent now, because your partner has realized that love is not meant to be contained within quiet thoughts and secret hopes, it is meant to be lived, spoken, honored, and embraced openly. They want to tell you that you have changed them in ways they never thought possible, that your presence has awakened something inside them that had been asleep for years, a sense of belonging, a sense of emotional home. They have carried wounds from their past, scars from moments where they were misunderstood, rejected, or left behind, and those memories made them cautious, made them protect their heart with walls built from hesitation and distance. When they met you, those walls trembled, but they were still afraid to let them fall completely, afraid that if you saw every part of them, their fears, their insecurities, their quiet longing, you might step away. So they held back, loving you silently, caring deeply, praying that one day they would find the strength to speak, and that when they did, your heart would listen with understanding instead of judgment. And now, as the moment approaches, you stand at the doorway of a truth that carries tenderness, vulnerability, and a powerful emotional shift. Your partner is ready to confess that you are not just someone in their life, you are the person who made them believe in connection again, the person whose presence has taught them what genuine affection feels like. They want to tell you that they never stopped thinking about you, never stopped caring, never stopped hoping that destiny would give them the courage they lacked before. This secret is a confession of depth, of sincerity, of love that has been growing in silence and now seeks the light. They are ready to step forward, ready to place their heart in your hands, ready to share what has lived inside them all along. As you hold this message close, feel the gravity of the moment. Because what is coming next has the power to reshape everything between you, to strengthen your bond, to open a new chapter built on truth, authenticity, and emotional courage, and this revelation belongs only to you. My beloved child, in this second unfolding moment, the atmosphere around your soul feels heavier yet strangely comforting, as if the universe itself is guiding you gently toward a deeper layer of the truth that has been waiting patiently in silence. Your partner has been revisiting memories, walking back through conversations, emotions, small details, and quiet gestures that once seemed ordinary but now reveal a hidden meaning beneath them. Every smile you shared, every silence you sat through together, every pause between words, all of it has been echoing inside their heart like a soft reminder of something they never had the courage to confess before. They have been reflecting on how your presence changed their world, how your kindness gave light to places inside them that had remained dim and untouched for years, and how your compassion allowed them to breathe freely in a way they never thought possible. But behind those moments lived a secret fear, a fear that if they showed you the deepest version of themselves, you might step away, you might not be ready, or you might misinterpret the sensitivity of what they felt. And so, they carried their truth quietly while their heart prayed for the day when courage and timing would finally align. There were nights when they lay awake, staring into the darkness, thinking about you, thinking about the unspoken words that formed sentences in their mind but never reached their lips. They remembered every time they wanted to reach out to you with a truth they were unable to voice, every moment where their heart surged forward but their fears pulled them back. These emotions were not created out of confusion or uncertainty, they were born from the intensity of genuine care, from the depth of connection that made them realize just how deeply you lived inside them. They have been carrying a tenderness that they guarded quietly, not because they doubted your worth, but because they doubted their own readiness to be fully seen. They were afraid of vulnerability, afraid of opening scars from the past, afraid that if they confessed everything they truly felt, they might lose the fragile balance that already existed between you. Yet silence has its own weight, and with time, it became impossible to carry without trembling. Their heart began to ache with the realization that truth, once awakened, can no longer remain caged behind hesitation. And so, this part of their confession reaches you with a softness that trembles, with honesty that breathes slowly, with courage that has been slowly gathering strength inside them for so long. They want you to know that they have always noticed the way your presence calms storms inside their spirit, how your voice feels like reassurance in uncertain moments, how your resilience inspires them to believe that they, too, can grow beyond their fears. They have watched the way you move through your challenges, how you hold pain with grace, how you stand firm even when life becomes heavy, and in those moments, admiration slowly grew into something deeper and far more powerful. They never meant to keep this hidden from you, never intended to let time pass without truth, but their heart was learning how to trust again, learning how to speak without fear, learning how to stand in front of love without running away from it. And now, their confession is not simply a revelation of feeling, it is a promise that they are ready to step beyond hesitation, ready to stand with openness instead of distance, ready to honor the connection that binds your souls. Your partner wants you to understand that this confession carries tenderness, not pressure, clarity, not confusion, vulnerability, not uncertainty. They wish to express that you have been far more meaningful to them than they ever allowed themselves to admit aloud, that you have shaped the way they see love, commitment, compassion, and emotional honesty. They want to reveal that your presence has become a place of emotional safety, a place where they finally felt understood without needing to hide behind strength or perfection. They have realized that love is not simply about grand gestures or spoken promises, it is about the quiet moments, the silent support, the gentle understanding that exists even when no words are spoken. And in those quiet spaces, they discovered how deeply they needed you, how deeply they cherished you, how deeply they wished to remain connected to your heart. This truth has been living inside them every single day, waiting for the moment when it could finally step into the open without fear or uncertainty, carried by sincerity rather than doubt. And now, as this chapter opens before you, you stand at the center of a powerful emotional turning point, because your partner is not only confessing what they feel, but acknowledging how profoundly you have shaped their journey. They are ready to stand in truth beside you, ready to embrace honesty instead of silence, ready to build something stronger than what existed before. Their confession is not an ending, it is the beginning of a deeper understanding, a deeper closeness, a deeper bond rooted in trust and emotional courage. They want you to feel the sincerity in every unspoken moment that now finds its voice, to recognize that their heart has chosen openness over fear. This message belongs to you alone, not as a shock, not as a dramatic twist, but as a deeply personal revelation, one that holds meaning, tenderness, vulnerability, and the promise of something profoundly real that is ready to step fully into the light. My beloved child, as this next layer of truth unfolds, the energy surrounding your heart becomes even more intense, as if every moment is pulling you closer to a revelation that has been slowly forming in silence for a very long time. Your partner has been standing at the crossroads of their emotions, looking back at the choices they made, the moments they hesitated, and the times they allowed fear to guide their actions when love was quietly asking them to be brave. They have carried this secret like a letter written in their heart, sealed with uncertainty, tucked away inside memories they could not yet face. Each time they saw you smile, each time they felt your presence drift near their thoughts, something inside them trembled, a quiet reminder that unspoken truths have their own heartbeat, their own pulse, their own destiny. They knew that one day, silence would no longer protect them, because the weight of unexpressed feelings had already grown too heavy to hide behind casual words or distant expressions. And now, that day has come, and their soul is slowly stepping toward you, ready to reveal what they once refused to face. They want you to know that your absence, whether near or far, has never truly existed in their world, because your presence has lived inside them in ways they could not describe. You became a silent companion in their thoughts, appearing in the quiet moments when the world faded, in conversations they held with themselves when no one else could hear. There were times when they tried to distract themselves, tried to convince their heart to move away, to detach, to protect itself, but every attempt only led them back to you. They realized that what they felt was not temporary, not fleeting, not something that could be replaced or erased by distance, doubt, or time. Instead, it was anchored deep within them, like a truth that remained unshaken no matter how far life pulled them apart or how differently their paths unfolded. This realization frightened them more than anything else, because it meant that what they felt for you was real, powerful, genuine, irreplaceable, and real emotions demand honesty, not silence. There were moments when they watched you grow stronger, watched you move forward in your own journey, and though they felt proud of your strength, they also felt a quiet ache inside, knowing that they were still holding back pieces of their truth. They carried the fear that if they spoke too late, if they revealed what they felt after time had passed, you might see it as confusion rather than sincerity. Yet the heart does not measure truth in days or months, it measures it in connection, in understanding, in the way two souls still recognize each other even when distance stands between them. Your partner has finally understood that love is not simply about presence, it is about significance, about the space someone holds in your heart even when they aren't physically near. And in that understanding, they discovered something shocking within themselves, that you were never just a passing chapter in their life story. You became the part they kept returning to, the chapter they could never close, the truth they could no longer deny. They want to confess that there were times when they questioned themselves more than they questioned you. They wondered whether they were worthy of opening their heart completely, whether they had healed enough from their past wounds, whether they could truly offer the love they deeply felt but feared to express. They struggled with their own insecurities, their own emotional scars, the shadows of old disappointments that whispered to them that vulnerability leads to pain. But with time, they realized something even more powerful, that hiding their feelings was not protecting them, it was hurting them. It was stopping them from experiencing the depth of connection their soul longed for, and it was keeping them from honoring the truth you deserved to know. They began to see that strength is not found in silence, strength is found in truth, in standing before the person who matters and allowing the heart to speak without fear. And now, as their confession moves closer to your ears and nearer to your spirit, they are ready to step fully into honesty. They want you to understand that you were never an option, never a temporary feeling, never a moment that simply came and went. You became a part of their emotional world in a way that time could not fade, distance could not weaken, and silence could not erase. They are ready to tell you that their truth has always led back to you, that the connection they feel is not coincidence, not imagination, but a bond that has lived quietly in the deepest part of their soul. This revelation is not meant to overwhelm you, it is meant to honor you, to respect the depth of your presence in their life, to finally bring into the light the words that have waited too long in silence. And as you hold this truth close to your heart, know that this moment marks a powerful awakening, because their confession is no longer a whisper within them. It is a truth that has finally chosen you. My beloved child, as this next chapter opens before your heart, the atmosphere grows even more intense, as if every emotion, every memory, every unspoken moment between you and your partner is gathering together, forming a powerful wave that is slowly rising toward truth. Your partner has reached a place within themselves where they can no longer hide from what they feel, no longer pretend that their emotions are simple or easy to explain. They have carried this secret through doubts, through sleepless nights, through moments where their hands trembled at the thought of finally revealing what has been buried inside their spirit for so long. They have realized that every path their heart tried to take away from you eventually curved back toward your name, your presence, your energy. And now, they stand in a space between fear and courage, knowing that what they reveal may change everything, yet also knowing that silence has already changed too much. Their heart whispers that honesty is no longer a choice, it is a necessity, because love that remains unspoken begins to ache in the deepest corners of the soul. They want you to know that this confession is not sudden, not impulsive, not born from temporary emotion. It has grown slowly, patiently, quietly, like a seed planted long ago that has been yearning for light. They have examined their feelings again and again, questioning themselves, questioning their intentions, questioning whether this truth was real or merely a moment of vulnerability. But the more they searched, the more they understood that their connection to you is not a passing feeling, it is something that has shaped the way they think, the way they feel, the way they understand love itself. You became a reminder of what sincerity feels like, of what comfort feels like, of what emotional safety truly means. They remember the sound of your voice, the softness in your words, the strength in your presence, and each of those memories has lived inside them like a silent echo that refuses to fade. They tried to distance themselves from their own emotions, yet no distance has ever been enough to erase the truth that their heart continued to hold. There were times when they convinced themselves that they needed to remain strong, reserved, detached, that revealing too much would make them vulnerable, exposed, fragile. They feared that if they opened their heart completely, they might lose control of everything they had carefully protected. They worried that their confession might place weight on your shoulders, might disrupt your peace, might create emotions you were not prepared to carry. And so they chose silence, believing it was safer, believing it was wiser. But silence has been loud, louder than words, louder than memories, louder than time itself. It has followed them through their days and echoed through their nights, reminding them that unspoken truth does not disappear, it waits, it lingers, it grows stronger with every moment it is denied. They realized that protecting themselves was also preventing them from honoring what their soul already knew, that you hold a place in their heart no one else has ever reached. Your partner has come to understand that true connection is not measured by how easily feelings are expressed, but by how deeply they continue to live within us even when we try to hide them. They have seen themselves change because of you, the way they think more gently, the way they feel more deeply, the way they approach life with a softer, more open heart. You have awakened a part of them that had remained dormant for far too long, a part that believed love was distant, unreachable, or unsafe. Through you, they learned that love does not demand perfection, it asks for honesty, patience, and presence. And in that realization, they found the courage they were once missing. They now stand ready to speak from a place of truth rather than fear, from a place of vulnerability rather than hesitation, from a place of devotion rather than uncertainty. They want you to understand that their confession is not meant to overwhelm you, it is meant to honor you, to respect the role you hold in their inner world, to acknowledge the depth of emotion they can no longer keep hidden. And now, as this moment draws nearer, the gravity of their secret stands fully formed, delicate yet powerful, fragile yet unbreakable. They are ready to reveal that their feelings for you were never casual, never temporary, never something they could simply walk away from. You became the safe place their heart kept returning to, the presence they could not replace, the connection that continued to breathe even through distance, time, and silence. They are prepared to place this truth gently into your hands, not as pressure, not as expectation, but as a sincere, heartfelt confession that belongs only to you. This is the moment where silence finally opens, where truth steps forward, where the heart speaks freely after waiting for far too long. What they are about to say next has the power to deepen everything between you, to reshape the bond you share, to finally illuminate the emotion that has been living quietly in their soul, and now, it is ready to be seen. If you watched until the end, comment, "I trust the journey," and subscribe for more heartfelt messages.